Toastmasters and guests, this next presenter, I met him a few years before he joined Toastmasters. Very friendly gentleman, conversation of the conversationalist. And well, if you have not figured out by now, especially my colleagues in Club 7178, I'm talkative. And whether he was bored, he did not show any indication, and he entertained my coworker and I for hours. We talked from one thing to the next. I just thought at the time it was rare to meet a Bahamian young man who could hold such an interesting conversation and was very knowledgeable about the things we were talking about. He intrigued me. So I held him talking just about all day. He spent almost an entire afternoon with me, which of course now I'm sure he does not mind. Coming to the lectern. Speaking from the past, innovative planning, phase 3, speech 2. His objective is to present a proposal in a time of 5 to 7 minutes. The title, A Martian's Treaty to the Venetians. None other than Toastmaster Paul Taylor Jr. Toastmaster Paul Taylor Jr. Let's welcome him to the lectern. All right, Toastmaster Taylor, the lectern is yielded to you, sir.
Men are from Mars, women are from Venus, and I've come here to clear up the miscommunications that exist between us. Distinguished Chair, fellow Toastmasters and guests, good afternoon. This evening, I stand before this virtual lectern to offer a proposal to you, a proposal to the community of the Martians and the Venusians in an effort to forge greater communication so that we both can all enjoy long-lasting, both satisfying relationships of the interchanging of our species. As a Martian, I speak very directly. My wiring is simple, but sometimes my communication may not be clear. As a Martian, I have found that Venusians in their expressions can be very ambiguous and leave much to think about and sometimes seldomly understood. With that being said, and it being understood that the Martians and the Venusians are to get together and propagate the world in which we live, they must be able to communicate to reach the point of lifelong mates. With that being said, I also need to proffer this context. The advancement of technology and society has outpaced biology in its execution. However, biology is not conforming. Let me help you understand. Biology is the way we both are made up of species that is void of any training, community socialization, etc. Let me help you understand that as a Venusian. In this time, biologically, though you are advanced, you still require the top tier of the Martian species. The above average male is wanted by you all. And we accept the challenge as Martians because every Martian knows he must be above average to survive with or without a Venusian. Therefore, in a quest for a Venusian, he realizes he must be above average. Biologically, that is true. However, socially, the power balance has tilted through education, women's rights, and the advancement of women in the workplace and becoming the breadwinners instead of Martians as previously done. What do? We need to meet at a middle ground. It must also be understood that Venusians are hypergamous. They must marry up. And yes, you have your money, and he may not, but truthfully, deep down, it's hard for you to settle with that because you need someone to look up to and not really look forward to. This is biology that is not conforming to society. How do we meet in the middle? Your Martian may not be an above average earner, but he may be above average thinker. He may have above average ambition and skill and is on his way there. What do? We need to change the dating scene. It's no longer date, we're gonna court. We're gonna focus on each other and we're gonna help each other advance our own individual goals while getting to know each other. At advanced stages, both Martians and Venusians are accustomed to being independent. So bringing in another individual requires an easement that takes time. That quality time is built and then communication and full understanding established. So therefore, don't date, we court. Dating with intention. In the process of dating, we must communicate. And in communicating, we need to get back to the basics. Because again, society and the technology is continuing to outpace the execution of the biology, but biology is not conforming. You exist in your phone as an entirely different person. You are someone different to many different people. Your WhatsApp has multiple contacts. That is the space in which you exist. And really, I may not fit. So therefore, we are going to be back to this. What do you see in front of me? It is a push button telephone, no smartphones. It's gonna be postpaid. You can call at any time. It always stays live, never needs to charge for days. Direct communication with clear expectations. You don't need to track each other on social media sites, following WhatsApp messages, reading into statuses. No, we will talk clearly to each other what we want. So after we court and after we communicate, finally we are then able to create the world and meet the expectations that each of us have. Venusians, please understand, Martians act on their feelings. They don't feel what they act. And so the comfort that is built within the Martian brings out that sort of Venusian that is within him, but can only be activated by you learning to be more of a Martian. And so there's this exchange. And then we both get what we want. You need me to listen, but I will also learn to talk in your language. I need you to understand. So I must learn to be patient and build slowly. But again, as these miscommunications exist now, it is important that we follow this proposal. We must court. We must communicate in the basic of ways. And finally, we must create by meeting the expectations that each of us has and clearly articulate. I thank you for your time, and I trust you can find some way to speak Martian or Venusian, depending on your species. Thank you so much, distinguished chair.